Hello friends, welcome to Prismatic online class. In this class, we are on the topic, the nature of the root of quadratic equation. In our previous class, we treated the nature of the root of the quadratic equation, where we have the distinct or different root. And in that distinct and different root, the graph will pass through the x-axis and create what we call alpha beta. And the second one will have an equal root or repeated root, where the graph will touch the x-axis. But today we are going to look at the complex root, where the graph will not touch the x-axis. So complex root. For complex root d, which is discriminant, less than 0, that is b square minus 4ac less than 0, or b square less than 4ac. Complex root imply the curve does not touch the x-axis. Complex root imply the curve does not touch the x-axis. So look at it. If a is greater than 0, this is how the graph would look at. The graph would be a concave, upward graph. But that upward, the bottom of the graph, the curve will not touch x-axis. If this bottom of this graph touch x-axis, it will be a repeated root or equal root. So likewise here, this is a converse graph. In other words, it will start with what? Minus ax square plus bs plus c equal to 0. The graph will be concave. The graph will be converse. It will be what? A downward graph. And this downward graph will not touch the x-axis. So this is what the natural, the characteristics of what? Complex root. And again, the complex root, that all b square minus 4ac is what? Less than 0. So in other words, you are going to get a negative integer. After solving this question, you are going to get a negative integer, whereby that negative integer is less than 0. In other words, 0 is greater than it. So we have distinct root or different root, whereby b square minus 4ac, b square minus 4ac is greater than 0. In other words, you get positive integers, numbers that are greater than zeros. In other words, if you plot it in number line, it will be in what? Positive x-axis. But here, this complex root, if you plot it under the number line, you still get it in what? In negative x-axis. Because the numbers that you are going to get will be less than 0. In other words, it must be minus. So you are going to get minus here. And the minus is less than what? 0. So discriminant must be what? Minus a number that will be what? Less than 0. While in a distinct root, the discriminant will be greater than 0. In other words, it will be a positive number. And the positive number is what? Greater than 0. When you come to equal root, we have equal root as b square minus 4ac equal to 0. b square minus 4ac equal to 0. That means if you plot this in a number line, the graph will lie on 0, because the discriminant will be what? Equal to 0. So we call it equal root. Why this one that is greater than 0, we call it what? Distinct or difference root. Why the one that is less than 0, which is complex root, is called what? Is what? Less than 0. That is all about the nature of what? Root of a given quadratic equation. Now this is a given question on the board. Given that x square minus, given that 5x square minus 3x plus 1 is equal to 0, determine the nature of the given root of the equation. We are going to check whether this equation here, is it a complex equation, or is it an equal root, or is it a distinct root. So we are going to check it. Okay, solution. Solution. We have that 5x squared minus 3x plus 1 is equal to 0. This is equivalent to forms of quadratic equation, which is ax squared plus bx plus c. Now, how do we do this? We want to list out our parameters. And our parameters here, a is equal to this a, the coefficient of x squared, yes, our a is 5. B, our b is, this is b, so our b is equal to minus 3. C, a number without algebra, a number without alphabet, a number without unknown, which is what? C. C is equals to 1. Now recall that discriminant is equal to b squared minus 4ac. Our b here is what? 5 raised to power 2 minus 4 times a. Our a is what? Okay, sorry. So our b is equal to minus 3 into what? In square minus 4 times a, which is 5, times c, which is 1. Finally, discriminant is equal to minus 3 times minus 3 will give us what? 9. 9 minus 4 times 5 is 20. 20 times 1 will give us what? Minus 20. Finally, d is equal to minus 11. And this minus 11 is strictly less than what? 0. So our answer now is that the quadratic equation here has what? A complex root, because the discriminant d is equal to minus 11 and minus 11 is less than 0. So that is how to solve it. So whenever you see any quadratic equation, solve that quadratic equation using what? Discriminant b squared minus 4ac. So if after solving this and you get that your d is less than 0, your root, the root of that equation is what? Complex root. But if you solve using this discriminant and after solving you get that your d is greater than 0, it means that this is what? Distinct root. Distinct or difference root. But if you solve and you get d, that d is equal to 0, it means repeated root. You should not call it repeated root, you call it what? Equal root. So that is how to know them. If discriminant d is less than 0, we call it what? Complex what? Root. But if the discriminant d is greater than 0, we call it what? Distinct or different root. But if the discriminant is equal to 0, it is called what? Repeated root or equal root. That is the nature of what? The root of quadratic equation. Go back to my topic, quadratic equation. For the first case, I treated definition of quadratic equation, application of quadratic equations in the everyday life. We solved question on the method of solving quadratic equation, which is what? A factorization method, a completing square method, general formula, or we call it almighty formula, and the graphical method. Now we treated again the cases where you are going to solve it. We even treat a case where we have what? Construction of what? Quadratic equation with a given root. So all is in my what? YouTube channels. Go there and pick them one after another, and I follow the topic one after the other. So follow all the topic and you get everything about quadratic equation, because I upload them in on what? My YouTube channel. Thanks and God bless you. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Prismatic Online Class. Follow me in WhatsApp page, Prismatic Online Class. Like, share, and comment on my session. Thank you. God bless you. Bye.